G'day Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. By a bit of water in North Maribyrnong. Looks lovely, doesn't it, until you sort of look at it from this angle. I'm sitting on the edge of a car park, but forget that bit, we'll keep up the facade. I'm excited because we've got a game of football tomorrow morning. Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham Hotspur. It was always a fixture that I used to enjoy watching, even at the time where there was a time in the mid-80s where Nottingham Forest were seen as the main challengers to Liverpool, even though Liverpool thrashed them 5-1, I reckon, in one game. But it always promised an exciting game. And even though I don't have specific memories too much of games I saw, a bit patchy here and there, I always seem to remember beating Nottingham Forest, so that was pretty cool. But this is a different Nottingham Forest we're facing this time. This is no Brian Clough, keep it on the ground and play quite good football. This is against our old gaffer, Nuno. However, this is a different Nottingham Forest side we're facing. It's not Brian Clough's fairly attractive football, it's Nuno Espirito Santo, and I haven't seen them play yet this year. Doing well in the league. Looks like a challenge on paper, but I'm pretty confident. I wasn't hugely confident about the Liverpool game. I'm much more confident about this one. Nuno, of course, who's had a bit of a resurrection in the eyes of a lot of Spurs fans. Well, when I say a lot, some Spurs fans, making comparisons between his record and Ange's record, both at Spurs and now with Nuno at Nottingham Forest. I suspect a lot of these fans weren't singing Nuno's praises quite so highly when he was the gaffer of Tottenham Hotspur, unlike me, because I support every manager. But it's a game of two styles combating each other. We have got Rodrigo Bentancur available, which hopefully will make a difference. I don't know what his fitness is like or whether he'll be starting, but we need all the help we can get at Tottenham, let's face it, at the moment. Still got all our back line out with injuries, apart from Pedro Porro, maybe perhaps Destiny Udogi's coming back, but Jed Spence did a fine job in his absence, and maybe if Pedro Porro is still knackered, because he has been looking a bit knackered recently, I don't think it's his fault, maybe Jed Spence could switch to his position and give Pedro a week off, because Jed's been holding up a fullback slot pretty well. Ange in his press conference, anything really of note? I mean, there was a comment, interesting comment he made about seeking perfection in football, which of course is a ludicrous notion, because it's 11 human beings running around a football pitch. That when you're playing attacking football, people might say, can we be a bit more defensive, please? i.e. seeking perfection. Or when we're playing defensive football, can we be a bit more attacking, please? Seeking perfection. And I've seen this in recent years under Antonio Conte. There were calls for him to be more attacking. Again, not from me. I didn't like the style of football, but you've got to do what the manager says. I mean, if that's their style of football, you've got to do what they say and support them and hope for them to be successful. But it looks like, it seems like some Spurs fans, like online, don't know what they want really, apart from they think they know best a lot. We'll see it during watch-alongs. I'll be doing a watch-along myself. You'll probably notice, maybe if you've seen any of my highlights, that I don't absolutely lose my shit and point the finger everywhere when we concede a goal, because all goals can be led to mistakes. And unless it's a glaring mistake, I don't see the point. In going on about it, apart from me being a technical moron and probably wouldn't spot it. But for every player you don't pick up that you could have picked up, you create a gap somewhere else on the pitch. There is no perfect way to defend or attack. I just like to have fun and be entertained, which is becoming the catchphrase at the moment while I'm watching a game of football. Ange is sticking to his guns, and we'll see if that pays off against Nottingham Forest. I thought it was a brave performance against Liverpool. The team's still fully behind it. There's no apparent rift in the dressing room or player revolt that I can see or sniff out one bit. I was getting a bit worried in the season when there were a couple of lackadaisical performances, but that was just the performances. I don't think it was anything to do with the players and manager, and they seem to have learnt from that, because despite being absolutely knackered in the last few games, I think the players have given everything and done their best and done us proud. And we haven't always come out on the winning end, but we haven't done too bad. We've had some wins, we've had a couple of draws, we had a loss against Liverpool. I think this would be a good turn up for the books if we went out there and beat Nottingham Forest. Very, very tight in the middle pack of the table. Still a case of whatever team recovers first or gets going, they'll be able to catch up the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool up at that end of the table. And who knows, we're not even halfway through the season. Liverpool have had a pretty sweet run. Chelsea have got their act together, but it's not even halfway there yet, and there's plenty of time for things to change. Strange old season. But I'm really looking forward to this game. 2 o'clock kickoff, I think, 2 or 2:30 a.m. kickoff, which is the worst possible time. It gives me the conundrum, do I sleep before or after or whatever? I usually have a few hours of sleep beforehand, but if you want to click the bell and subscribe, you'll know when I'm going live. It varies, usually half an hour before the game, and I try to do it my own way. I do my channel my own way. I've been seeing a little bit of blowback for some of the videos I've been doing recently. People seem to be getting a bit more offended over me calling out 100% racist comments that people are making, rather than the racist comments themselves. I've heard comments which is a bit of a cliche, oh, if you're such a hippie, full of peace and love, why do you get so vitriolic and call people pricks and things like that? Well, to that I would just say there is a big difference between peace and appeasement, and whereas other channels let dog whistling go by just to not rock the boat. Whenever you hear people talking about woke and all that rubbish, people just let it go as if it's the orthodox opinion of all football fans. And I understand that there is a bit of a vein of that kind of feeling going back in football, but I think it's a withering vein, and I believe that football is for everyone, absolutely everyone. So if you're someone that doesn't like all that sort of talk, this is the place for you. If you think I'm being a snowflake and all that sort of stuff, then you know what, there's 100 other football channels out there that you can watch and sit with your own company. But I think it's a big old world out there. I think there's more of us than them, and for people that get offended by what I say, who's the snowflake, eh? Anyway, and I really do mean this, peace and love, and come on you Spurs.